Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet and of YouTube. Welcome to Jibber Jabber. I am your host, as always, Skidaramas, otherwise known as Tone Shift. With us today, first of all, I'm just going to go ahead and go down the list here. Sorry, I got confused for a second. First up, in the British corner, we have Darkness.
Hello again.
We have Hades, who's just kind of here.
Sup?
Let's see here. We have a Soviet starfish.
Due to potentially unrelated circumstances of last episode, taking my firearm away from me.
That's good. Just keep that away.
Yep. We have a paladin, who the starfish is glaring at with a fiery vengeance.
Well, I am staring into your souls.
It's your fault.
And lastly, rounding out
it's your fault, you little shit.
Yep, and sharing the British corner, we have Tom117Z.
Hey,
That's our ensemble for today. So, how's everyone's week been?
It's been fun. I mean, I made a new friend yesterday by just showing him my pizza.
It's too fucking
My
hot.
week has been long and unending.
Actually, yeah, I did have one thing that happened this week. One of the tape guns fell apart in my hand.
Have fun with it.
10 out of 10.
No, it
You
just
were
taped
using
in
a
box and it
fallout weapon
falls
and it ran out of
apart.
durability.
Should take better care of your equipment.
Oh no, it's just
Stock
The
up on repair
area.
hammers.
Invest more in your repair still.
my group leader. Like, what the heck did
You
you
gotta-
do? I was like, I don't know.
Ah, yes. Jeremy's answers to everything. A hammer.
I demand to know who you are. I don't know.
Is that a Doctor Who reference?
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
God
It
damn
did
it!
it.
I love that scene.
the sticker axe.
All right.
Yes.
David
Oh.
Tennant is the best Doctor.
Yeah.
I am a man.
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith, not so much.
Hush, Tom.
I am a man that don't give second chances.
All right.
We
So,
all know
your
David
opinion
was the
doesn't
best.
count on Doctor Who.
all right. So, we have an arrangement of topics to go into. First of all, we actually played FFD6 this week, so we have an FFD6 recap to get into.
Woo!
Kind of wish Lumina was
dear.
here so that she could share, but oh well. So, this session began with Lumina and Inata catching up a little bit. Inata being a friend of Rocket's who she met at the end of last session, reunited with. While they were chatting, one by one, the rest of the group steadily came down from their rooms in the Lolato Inn, met up with Rocket, and soon the whole group was assembled, talking about what they were going to do to fill this week or two of time they needed to pass before Neothil's secret plans were complete and they could move on with their mission.
You know, I've been actually thinking about that event, that whole plan thing. It reminded me of a movie called The 10th Kingdom, which no one's
Right.
probably heard of.
Never
Nope.
heard of it.
Sounds familiar. Go on.
It's a movie that takes 3 discs to watch because it's that long.
Oh, blimey.
It's like a mini-series, Jesus. Well, anyways. So, following that reunion and some time catching up, the party, minus Rocket, who stays behind to keep talking with Inata, scattered throughout Lalato to ask around and see if they could find some work to do to pass the time and earn themselves some extra gil while they were waiting on Neothil's mystery project to be complete. And they'll end up hearing about a lumber mill a couple days to the north that had apparently gone silent and missed the last few deliveries. So, they set out to investigate this, figuring they could make some gil and do some good on the way. And have a few interactions on the way. And eventually they find themselves at said lumber mill. And it is in shambles. They ask around, they look around a bit, try to figure out what the source of things, and they find places where the terrain has been just shredded and brutalized, and the whole place is in shambles, as I said. The NPC party member, Mika Solwyn, White Mage, being the just treasure trove of information that she is, was able to deduce that the creature that had caused all of... Yeah, she's totally an egghead and proud of it. All of the most of the damage caused to this place was caused by one creature, and she was able to figure that it was a creature referred to as a Galterix. Something which...
You've also glossed over Thanatos' racist remark.
Oh, yeah. Thanatos accidentally made a... Well, I won't say accidentally. Thanatos made a racist remark towards Mithra and Mika in general when he suggested...
Oh, dear.
When Nee was telling Mika about how the view from a tree over the environment was a lot better than from the ground. And Mika didn't doubt it, and then Thanatos chimed in with, "Don't cats get stuck in trees?" And Mika is a Mithra, a cat person, so she took great offense to this comparison to the common house cat. Because those are very racist comparisons to make. So she gave him a hard... So she slapped him and they kept moving.
Yep. Smack.
Yep. Oh, what a wake up. So after that, and they investigated the lumber mill a bit, they followed some chocobo tracks that were leading out of there, presuming that the family had tried to get away from whatever was tearing up their home, the family that ran the lumber mill. They went for a ways and eventually found the chocobo that had made the tracks, wounded on the ground, but no sign of the family. And when they went to heal up the chocobo, they were then set upon by the Galterix itself. A short mini-boss fight ensued in which its potent weakness to fire was discovered. Yep, thanks to Thanatos. And while it did actually attack Thanatos, it didn't really do a whole lot of damage thanks to his stupidly high armor.
He actually took damage this time.
Yep.
Yep. But it was but a scratch.
Tried to
And
poison
you
in the face.
and Rocket took it down.
Beat the shit out of it.
Where Neo had an unfortunate miss.
Yep.
Moments.
Pretty sure Nee didn't
How
even
many-
hit it once. But either way, the point
Well,
I mean, I
It did
technically
hit
it
once,
It just
but it
kind
didn't
of
do anything.
bounced off its armor.
is right.
Bing.
That's because that was, I mean, you still technically rolled lower than its avoidance, so by the rules that you technically missed
You
that.
still said it made contact, so I'm counting it. Fuck you.
Fair enough. Anyways, so... But yeah, they were eventually able to take it down when Thanatos kept blasting it with fire spells, and it just, it exploded. Because
I burned it.
its carapace expanded, and it couldn't do that, so just like split apart and snapped, crackled, and popped like popcorn.
We killed it with fire.
Yeah.
I killed it with fire.
Kill it with fire! Anyways, after that...
I did.
After that, they scouted around a bit more and soon enough discovered the bodies of the family that the Galterix had brutalized. They spent some time to give the corpses a proper burial back at their home, cleaned it up just a little bit, and then got back in the wagon that Rocket had acquired and made their way back to Lalato. That night, Neothil and Mika shared a cute little moment in a tree, just kind of doing some character development and whatnot, as they are wont
And I
to
was
do.
Hit with a book.
And I was tempted to make a comment when she actually did get stuck. So
Yeah, she got stuck halfway up the tree.
so I was right.
They got
Don't
up,
stop.
they talked a little while about the stars, and Nee called Mika cute and got hit with a book for her efforts. Then made an effort to kind of explain the awkward interaction on the previous recap without revealing exactly what the plan is. They kind of made up and then read the book that Nia previously bought Mika for a while.
Yeah, the Blue Magic book, which, they'd finished reading that a while ago, but fuck it, why not?
At one point, she clobbered you with the head with the book.
Yeah.
Well, we already said that, Darkness.
Yeah. Like, when she was trying to guess what Nee was was doing, she's like, is it a book? No. Is it a fancy bookmark? No. And then, like, somewhere in there came Neothil's remark about how cute Mika was being. And so Mika proceeded to ask, is it a club so I can cuddle you for embarrassing me? And Nee's response, no, but do you really need it? And then Mika, being the smartass that she is, went, no, pulled out her book and smacked Nee in the back of the head with it, because I have this!
Yeah. And then it ended on a slightly more tender note with like Nee kind of saying, like, whatever it is that's going on with them, she doesn't want to screw it up, which is at which point they start reading.
Hmm.
So they had a nice little tender moment, and the following morning they went back to town.
Which got to my favorite bit.
They turned in the job they'd done, got some payment for it from the captain of the City Watch, Gaston Vorks, Gaul Command, which means he's like the biggest person in this city, of the city of potato men and women.
That's a bit offensive. Probably looks like a pig weasel compared to him.
Again, what's with all the Doctor Who references today?
Wait, that was a Doctor Who reference? I don't get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the mighty Spartans fight. Well, the Soltarans showing up at last.
Okay. I don't remember. It's
Or
been
you
a-
known as potato people.
Just,
right.
just
Oh,
smile,
right.
smile and nod.
Spudmen.
Smile and nod.
Nodding.
Oh, don't.
Alright.
You're making the chair squeak.
Oh, yes, I am. Here, I'll do it more.
No, for fuck's sake.
It sounds like he's doing something else if you cut out the part where he says
I
he's nodding.
know. That's why I'm cringing. Let's not go there. Let's not
Okay,
go there.
all right. Mine's out of the gutters, dipshits. Okay. Okay. So, following that, they found themselves back in Lolato after having a bit of a conversation on the way about their destination, the Academy City, and how they're going to handle things when they get there. And, well, upon their full return to Lolato, they, as I said, they turned in the quest and set about getting themselves back to the inn and tavern. Neothil briefly prodded Thanatos about why he keeps asking various people about this symbol he picked up from the corpse of that Bonga poacher that we talked about last session. And Thanatos kind of dodged the question a bit. But, you know, they're there if he needs them. And following that, when it was, when they were reminded that Rocket was only allowed to sleep inside the inn for one night, and that night is come and gone, Nee took Rocket back to that Black Chocobo merchant I was talking about, who was out on the bridge previous session, so that she could spend the night there, kind of like rent out a spot for her, from him. And on the way, they kind of chatted a bit about their own backstories a little bit and their goals in relations to the Dark Woman that Neothil keeps seeing and the labs that created Rocket and their individual objectives in regards to those, and agreeing to help each other out however they need to. Rocket was allowed to stay with the Black Chocobo merchant for 30 gil a night, and Neothil meandered back into town, briefly caught sight of the woman in dark for just a flicker of a second before finally returning to the inn and tavern and calling it a night.
Feeling
Now I'm just telling her not to
try
know.
something with Rocket.
Let me put it to you this way. If he does, he's gonna not be able to sire children.
That's why we call her our little nutcracker.
My little nut.
As I said to her,
my little nutcracker.
the Rocket's friend as we were leaving. Make sure to tell them the story about how you blew up that one guy's testicles.
Break balls wherever she goes.
That's gonna be funny.
Yeah. Now I want someone to do an entire rendition of the My Little Pony theme, but it's just my little nutcrack, my little, and it's about Rocket.
How about now?
How about yes?
Come on, it'd be
Yeah.
great. They must know of her tale.
You guys are weird.
I used to wonder what testicles were.
You're making me consider breaking into the gun safe and finding my gun.
No, I told you, Soviet. No
Oh,
guns
it's leaning
allowed on
against
the
the wall.
show. Put them
Sorry,
away.
No gun server. You're gonna have to take that outside the door and leave it there.
Don't make me come over there and break them all, and then throw them onto a fire.
Woohoo!
Oh, Lord.
Kind of fired.
Oh, you see.
All right, but
You guys
yeah,
are weird.
yeah, that's the recap though. Do the players have any other insightful remarks to add or things they wish to comment upon?
Well, like I said, my favorite part was when we were heading back to Lolato, and we were having a bit of character development on the way back.
I love how my character is slowly just evolving into this guy that every time they introduce him is like, "Hi, this is Thanatos. He's in probably less than a day. He's probably gonna make you want to punch him."
You do fill the role of the Lancer quite well.
I thought when you say Thanatos, it makes me want to think of Thanos from.
Well done, Lancer boy.
Well, Paladin, that is because the name Thanos is actually derived from Thanatos.
Knew it.
Thanatos, where's your Infinity Gauntlet?
Can I have an Infinity Gauntlet, Tone?
Reality check.
No.
Can I? I can literally just make everybody disappear with a snap.
That would
Probably
probably
give
be
you like
too easy.
perfect version of a gauntlet that just boosts your magic instead of just snapping people away.
Yeah, you're never getting an Infinity Gauntlet. None of you are.
Aww.
I don't even want one, so I'm good.
What about an Infinity Stone?
Nope. Closest thing to that Thanatos is ever going to get is going to be the Scathe spell, and that's assuming he lives long enough to reach level 15.
Besides, the one thing like that is too OP, man.
I'm out of
Why do you say that like you don't expect me to live that long?
Well, because who fucking knows how you guys are going to handle shit that happens.
Or if frickin' Nee and Mika kill me in my sleep or something.
Yeah, I just realized the first season of season 9 actually, second part I think, actually referenced kind of the Infinity Gauntlet with Discord snapping his fingers when Sarma shoots his magic at him.
No, that's just Discord being Discord. That had nothing to do with the Infinity stuff.
He's always snapped his fingers to.
He always just snaps his fingers and literally everything just.
Yeah, because he's Q, and that's what Q does. That's Q's thing.
I realized that when I was watching Bronies react to that. So,
He's literally.
Yeah.
His character was designed by Q, and then the producer's like, "Well, go hire John Delancey then," and then they got him. So yeah.
stronger.
We must unite or die. We don't have the joy of winning.
That's not what we said when we went up against the Seat of the Plague.
Mm-hmm.
Run away!
Run away!
Yeah. I think we call it tactical retreat. As in blunt, run away.
And then it came up, and then it somehow dragged itself through the floor and chased us outside. I'm still questioning.
Well, it's got tentacles. It could move.
It broke
How
through. It broke
It's
through
like
the
Resident
floor.
Evil. Have you not seen Resident Evil?
I've seen Resident Evil.
Yeah, it broke through
And
the
yeah,
floor.
Twink was a tentacle creature.
The evil kind
and
of
it moved.
sucks.
What it did is it just broke through the floor.
Hi.
Mm-hmm.
Pulled itself up after you guys.
Yeah. It ain't gonna stick around and let the flames consume it. It's not stupid.
But that was several sessions ago, so.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's about it, unless anyone else wants to say anything.
Nah, just usual.
All right.
Okay, then.
Well,
Next topic.
all right. So, this next topic is one I just kind of came up with on the spot because I actually was recently reminded of a game I liked as a child that I am actually probably going to play on an emulator when we're done here. So this whole topic is around video games that we played and liked when we were kids that may be a bit more obscure than their contemporaries or not as well known among, like, common video gaming crowds. So, I don't know if mine, the two I'm going to rather, are the best examples. But the two I'm immediately thinking of would be, well, first and foremost would be Duelists of the Roses, a Yu-Gi-Oh game.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I came
Oh,
across
yeah, I
that
remember
game
that.
before
That was
and played it.
kind of like the
PlayStation 2, I believe.
Yeah, PlayStation 2. It was basically a Yu-Gi-Oh game, but it was also a strategy game because your cards move around on a grid.
Mm.
Speaking of the similar Yu-Gi-Oh one, Dungeon and Dice.
Yeah, that was a bit different. But
That was a bit different, but the idea of it is kind of the
Similar.
same.
the idea
Yeah.
is, you've got, I believe it's like a 6x6 grid with different terrain types in each grid space. You can't move through labyrinths unless your creature itself is a labyrinth. And the whole idea is, it's actually based around the War of the Roses from history, and is actually, as I can tell, actually pretty spot on with a lot of the details, except for the fact it's being fought with a card game instead of warfare. And they replaced all of the historical characters with pictures of Yu-Gi-Oh characters. So like Seto is like so Kaiba became a Yorkist, Yugi became a Lancastrian. When I realized that this game was actually based off of a real historical event, I actually went back and looked at the history of it. Pretty bloody conflict, near as I can tell.
The rise of the Tudors, and the son of the victor was the biggest tyrant king I've ever had. So that was fun.
Yeah. But, yeah.
And then damn Kaiba was an annoying son of a bitch.
He always is. But, yeah, I mostly remembered that one because I remember I've always liked it. I mean, I've always been a bit of a fan of Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially the more classic time frames, like original, like the type of cards that were available from the original series, like to the end of GX. I liked those. It's after that where it started getting a little for me.
Yeah.
I don't really
Cards on motorcycles, yay!
I mean, that's not the part that bugged me. The part that bugged me about 5Ds was the part that bugged me about each series following that was the new monster types. Synchros, Ixies, Pendulums, which are just broken as fuck last I checked. Then they revamped the entire game map.
And then they
just
then they revamped. Then they pretty much.
I say the thing that broke it was the pendulums because they were overpowered.
Which is
and
why
for the links,
which
they
is
are
why
overrated.
I'm about to say, which is why Lynx became a thing, and they completely redid the mat and made pendulums pretty much useless.
Yeah.
This is why I'll pretty much only ever play a version
Oh,
of
it's not
Yu-Gi-Oh!
just
that dates back to before that. But the point is, this game was
It's
a different
middle finger to all game.
Yeah, but as it is, Duelist of the Roses, I remember looking back on liking it because, well, for one thing, I actually found the soundtrack and listened back to it. It's a lot of good music, and more than that, I just think it's an interesting premise. Like, I just think it's a cool premise overall. The execution is good from what I remember.
As for
I said I had.
Sorry, you have another one.
Yeah, and I'll call on someone to go next. Like I'm gonna go like across the screen. So yeah, the second one I had in my head, though this one's kind of blurry in my memory, and I only remembered it even exists a few months ago because I watched a video review on its sequel. I don't actually know for sure how obscure this particular game is, relatively speaking, but it feels obscure to me because I totally forgot about it for a while. Bushido Blade for the PlayStation 1.
I don't know it.
The basic idea,
I remember playing it.
Yeah, the basic idea behind Bushido Blade is it was a fighting game, except it didn't rely at all on complicated combos or anything like that. The whole idea behind Bushido Blade is one good hit on the head or torso, and that character is down. You only need one good hit. The idea was it was meant to be based on like the creators likened it to like the general rules of sword fighting with friends in a backyard with sticks. If you get a shot on the head or the chest, that's a kill. You're out. If you get hit in any limb, you can't use that limb anymore. It's like if you get whacked in the leg, you have to drag it around. If you get hit in the arm, you gotta just let it hang. It's kind of a similar deal with Bushido Blade, where if you get hit in the arm, your character can't use that arm anymore. If your character gets hit in the leg, they're going to be limping around. And the whole and I like that because for one thing, it makes it so much simpler and it's more realistic than its contemporaries. It's one of those games where, and as I recall, there's actually this funny thing that can happen when going through Bushido Blade, where if a character gets both of his legs knocked out, he falls to the ground and can only roll around and make swings. If someone who's good enough at that manages it, they could actually cut the legs of their opponent, and you just have a couple people rolling around trying to kill each other like caterpillars with swords.
Wow.
You should look it up sometime. It's fun to watch. Probably fun to play if I remember correctly. But yeah, those are the obscure video games I remember. Let's go to Soviet next. What do you got?
Well, seeing as though my dogs have stopped fighting in our connection. For me, obscure video game that I enjoyed would have been Star Wars Bounty Hunter. It was the well, it's now part of the Legend canon, but it was supposed to be the whole backstory of Jango Fett, the guy that they based all of the clones off of in the Clone Wars.
Hmm.
And it basically explains what he did before he was recruited by the Kaminoans, how he got his ship, the Slave One. Would both of you get out on the bed?
Wait. Did you say bin?
Bed.
Doug's,
No, stop
Doug-
having
Oh, I was gonna
PTSD,
say.
darkness.
Doug's causing trouble again.
Anyways, and it also it kind of tied up one of the other story loose ends, which was one of the other bounty hunter candidates, and how he got disqualified because Jango Fett. But basically, the game ends and him making the condition. I'll give you the archetype for your army as long as I get a clone that ages at a normal rate, so I can have because a character that was important to him and that was kind of like his manager slash partner in the bounty hunting world said that he needed a kid, but she died kind of midway through the game when their original base got destroyed by the other bounty hunter.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Also, its sequel, Bounty Hunter 2, was supposed to follow the story of Boba Fett in the time between episodes 4 and 5 before he goes after Han Solo. Unfortunately, that game got scrapped, and the only thing we have of it is its reveal trailer, which is him hunting someone in a swamp.
Doesn't that there's no bounty also give
that's all I got to
background
say.
to that a female shape-shifting bounty hunter he killed at the beginning of episode 2?
Yeah.
Oh, like 5 minutes of screen time.
Would both of you stop it? I'm gonna mute.
Dogs like to fight. I have big dogs like that.
The children are being children.
Children are being children.
The problem is one of them's a blue healer. He is a small boy trying to fight a big dog.
Yeah,
All right,
that's what they do.
Well, next up on the list, going from left to right on the screen, would be Hades.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. I don't really know if they're really obscure. I mean, there was a few games back in the day that were fun but obnoxious. I remember back in I think it was on the PlayStation 2. Or maybe it was 1, I can't remember. But it was the old Atlantis the Lost Empire game based off the movie. It was
yeah.
it was fun. It was fun, but it was obnoxious because there was a lot of puzzles and there was a lot of just kind of going around large maps and having to fix all these certain objectives to where, okay, now I can go on to the next one. And it was just it was so frustrating. Yet I would play it all the time trying to get it done. Even when my brother's like, maybe we should play something else. I was like, no, I will get this. And it was really obnoxious. But yeah, there was that. And honestly, I don't really know too much. I can't actually remember a whole lot way back when that would be really obscure. I mean, I played a lot of Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, and all of them. This is just a bunch of guns and blowing shit up.
Sounds like fun.
That it was. And I honestly can't really think of much else I can add to this. So
Okay.
I say go ahead and take it to the next one.
All right, next person on the list would be Paladin.
Oh boy. Well, One game I can remember would be Dragon Wars, which I'll send a photo of the guide that I got for it in the chat. Dragon Warriors Monsters 2. The game, basically, you go around, you collect monsters, and you fight other monsters, which sometimes when you defeat them, you can recruit them.
So, like Pokemon.
Pokemon, you just throw a Pokeball. This one, you just basically kill them, and they get back and like, hey, I want to join your party.
It's like, you killed me. Congratulations. Can I join?
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
And I like the
Necromancer
second
shit going on here.
specifically because you can go around different worlds and fight other people, who fight with monsters, NPCs. And basically, I think some of them will give you a key which you can get appraisal to get to other worlds. And each world is different from the other depending on the name and what it contains. Also depends too. Like a world could be called Orange Slime, and that world will be mostly filled with slimes. And the rarity, I'm not 100% sure because I haven't looked through my guidebook in eons.
You know what? That actually reminds me, for some reason, of another game I just remembered called Dragon Seeds. Anyone know what that one was? I remember barely anything of it other than it was about pitting dragons against dragons in fights. And your dragons could level up, but they could also die.
Yeah.
Well, your monsters can't die, but they can also be revived for a price, or you go back to your home world.
I will revive your monster for a small fee.
Yes. And how to get better monsters are you have to breed them, which basically turns two monsters into one.
Oh, it looks like it's a spin-off of Dragon Quest, that, actually.
I'm not 100% what is Dragon Quest.
The JRPG franchise. I recognize the slime in the general style of the text.
Dragon's Quest.
Yeah,
But-
sounds like an interesting ordeal.
Oh yeah, it's been eons since I played it. Probably got to find the cartridge to play it again. Of course.
Who's next?
Next up would be you, Darkness, actually.
Oh, okay. Well, sadly, poor old Spyro's off the list.
That's
But
nice.
like I got two other votes. Exactly, yeah. I know. Sorry, Spyro. Anyway. So, would Conker's Bad Fur Day count?
I don't think that counts as obscure, necessarily.
Well, it was at the time. I mean, when people look at it, they thought, the fuck is this? And it got poor ratings. It didn't become popular
Also,
till
you
way later.
played
down the
Conker's
line.
Bad Fur Day as a kid?
Yeah? What's wrong with that? There was
It's
So many
adult
things.
It was it on the
Isn't there a
Nintendo
mission
64
where
and
you
the game
get-
was
where you-
hilarious.
One of the songs is I am the great mighty
hold on.
shit.
Well, Mighty Pooh, but yeah.
am the
Hold
great
on.
mighty
Conker's Bad
Pooh.
Fur
It's
Day.
poop in the
And
censored
I'm going to throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tish comes from my chocolate
The
stuffing.
first Conker
How
game on
about
the
you
Nintendo
scat, you
Color.
little twat?
I have literally no idea what's going on anymore.
Was a kid's game, but
Best game
Bad
ever.
Fur Day was very adult. It was the
It's not every day you fight a big pile of shit as a
I'm
boss.
sorry,
But
but it's also not
The final
every day
boss
where
is
you
a
have mission where you
xenomorph.
convince a bumblebee to fuck a sunflower.
well, anyway, the other one, which
You're the
definitely
one
is
talking
obscure,
about the game.
was that Underworld game, which, yeah, I have a bit of a 50-50 thing with Underworld, and it just got ridiculous. I say Why Is It Like a Movie was all right, but meh. That's because of Victor is an asshole and he's over the top. But anyway, the game itself, you have a choice, which of course you could do both in the end anyway, of either playing the vampires or the Lycans. And what the Lycans are, basically, they're evidence of werewolves.
That's what that's werewolves are.
But they have more
control.
Yeah. Basically, the difference is, of course, they have more control over the transformation than an average werewolf. Werewolf, you just change
that's not
against
really,
your will.
That's not really part of the difference. Werewolves are just lycanthropes. That's all it boils down to. It just was under the individual lore of the setting.
And this is all about the world's logic.
Right.
To me, they're just werewolves, but fair enough.
But that's what I was saying. Lycanthropes are werewolves. Or any other were creature.
And the game itself was alright for what it is. You get to choose from like 3 characters each from these 2 different factions. And they each have their own strengths and weaknesses. And you're also accompanied by a handful of soldiers and like, or if you're the vampires, you just got a handful of death dealers, which are the which are vampires themselves. And go about completing few tasks like reversing some of your units and killing off any threats, also hunting down leaders and taking them down. It was an alright game for what it was. And it can be a bit of a pain in the arse though and challenging, since some enemies are so powerful they one-hit kill your ass, or they get close to your explosive rounds and you get caught in the blast. So it's one of those games you have to keep moving and shooting like Doom, except it's set in a third person sort of view instead of first person. But it was alright for what it was.
Alright. Alright, and last up on the list would be Tom.
One of the games I have most vivid memories of from my childhood, that's more obscure now. It wasn't so obscure back when it came out, that was even before my time. It was a PS1 game. It's suddenly more obscure now because the series died out, called Ape Escape. Do you know that?
I do not.
Title?
What is it?
Ape Escape.
Never heard of it.
It's a Japanese action platformer where it's very kind of anime, but basically there's this professor scientist who's your character's mentor, who kind of created these helmets that could enhance the intelligence of animals, which he then tried on a show ape from a zoo called Spectre. You stuck it on him, and probably it turned him into a psychopathic kind of dictator, who then started jumped into this professor's time machine, went into the past, rewrote all of human history, so that he was now the sole
he becomes the
immortal god all over all mankind, along with his army of evolved apes and shit, full Planet of the Apes style, with a good army of mechs and robots and shit. All anime styles to go along with it. So the game is you essentially being sent through time to undo all of what he has changed, and capturing all of the said apes that have had these intelligence enhancing helmets stuck on them, all of his lieutenants, thus named Ape Escape.
So in other words, it's kind of a bit like Planet of the Apes, except it's not with a serum mutation, it's just a helmet.
More child-friendly as well. But yeah, you go through time, you capture them, you defeat the robots and other weird mutant things he sends after you.
I've never watched it, but I think I saw a completionist video on it.
Yeah, it was quite good. One of the first weapons you get is definitely not a lightsaber. Cough, cough.
Yes. But that was a good around 10 minutes.
Yes, so I remember that the prehistoric age of the Ice Age, and then you go back to the altered modern day, where one of my favorite levels of the game, I remember back in the day, was a massive theme park level, Spectreland, where you had the second to last final boss against him, where he's in this giant bloody mech. Yeah, so it was haven't played the game in a very, very long time. This was when I was still in my single digits that I played this game. But I think
How
I
the
hit.
heck?
How the heck? What?
How the heck did I miss this game? It sounds like a lot of fun.
Well, the game was released in 1999, the year I was born.
Ah.
It's a very old game, but it was also the very first game to ever use the PlayStation DualShock controller.
Mate, 1999. Ah, shit, I was born pretty earlier. Ah. No.
Yeah, it was the first game ever to use the PlayStation controller that had thumbsticks. Before that, they didn't. So
Thank goodness for the thumbsticks, because those other
That's why.
controllers were a nightmare.
That's why this was not so like obscure back in the day, because it's the reason that controllers have thumbsticks. But nowadays the series kind of died out after the third game. I only ever played the first one though. But, so I have fond childhood memories of this thing. It was silly because it was silly usually until you had those fucking black panted monkeys with SMG dual wielding bastards.
I think you got some shit to work through with that.
Those were a pain in the ass. I distinctly remember.
Well, all right. Well, if that be that, then we have one more topic to jump to, which would
indeed
come in the form of yet more adventures of Crimson the Dragon, as told by Darkness.
Yep, I will make this we
got about 19 minutes. Yeah, we got about 19 minutes, so feel free to take your time here.
I know, so anyway, they have 4 temporary new members that are helping through the forest, which is 2 goblins, a hobgoblin, and a wolf. They led them to a temple that Crimson was curious about because of rumors of hidden treasure. And we all know dragons, they love to build a hoard. So she manages to convince the party to have a little detour from the actual destination, a town that needs their help. She don't care. She just wants some loot. They went in there, read a description on the wall, and then all the doors shut, and this huge, massive, glowing orb was in the center of the room. It spoke to them and said if they want to leave here with their life, they have to answer 3 riddles. Miran answered the first one, then Sevilla answered the second one, and despite being rude towards the orb, which is a bit unwise, and I will go into a little information of that soon, Crimson answered the last one correctly, the last riddle, which she had a bit of a despair look on her face when she did, and also mixed with anger. But besides that, she answered the final riddle, so she gets this hidden treasure where the others had to wait outside as the doors opened. Turns out the hidden treasure was actually a riddle. And it turns out whoever answers this riddle, it's not just any riddle, it's a riddle that kind of states, well, basically like gives you a choice in life in a way. And which of course is once you give it, you must keep it. And she said out loud when the orb vanished, what kind of riddle was that? And then it just hit her in her mind, and her eyes went like wide for a moment. And this is where the story would continue, but just to give a quick announcement of what this orb thing is after I found out what it is, it's basically meant to resemble this universe's Cat in the Box. It's there and technically not there. So if they did attack this thing like a bunch of idiots, they wouldn't make it out alive. This thing would have vaporized them. So best that they didn't attack it. But anywho, they met up with the goblins and the wolf and decided to head to the town, with Miran having a bit of a worried look on his face towards Crimson, but didn't say anything because she gave him an angry glare. And when they reached the town, the goblins had to remain of course, in the forest. As they said, they will not leave the forest, and there's a pretty good reasons why. Most people don't like goblins because of the trouble they've committed. And the goblins don't pretty much like them either. But as they walked into town, a familiar voice cried out to them, and Crimson was dreading it. Oh no. As for Doran, he had a great big grin on his face. Because it turns out, which Doran didn't tell Crimson, or anyone for that matter, that this is the same town where the barkeep gets all of his alcohol from. And she hates him because of his sense of humor. Doran, Crimson, my favorite little customers. That's what I had to say. I know what you were about to say. And you wise not to repeat yourself. No. I know you're not a thing. Ridiculous. It's just my little joke and all. So, what brings you to this wonderful little town? We're here to help them. Apparently they're having a little bit of an issue. Ah, right. You need to go down to the town hall then. But a little bit of a heads up. They heard tales about you lot, so just thought I'd give you a heads up. I can't go into too much detail though, I got work to do. And some papers to sign, so stick around for a while. I'm gonna be here for a while myself. So hope to see you later. And as soon as I got into town, loads of people did stare at them. And Crimson just acts, this is to be expected. Of course, they're going to be afraid of her. So she fought. Because as soon as Miriam was talking to the captain of the guard of this town, for some strange reason, quite a few people were gathering around and surrounding in the party, but mostly staring at Crimson. And even the children were getting a bit close to her, and she's wondering why. She's just looking confused. And then this man dressed in all colorful clothing popped up, and he was just extremely happy and even got very close to Crimson. Can I help you? Or can I eat you? Huh? Oh! I see you got a sense of humor. That's good and all. I wasn't joking. Oh.
Oh.
Fair enough. Well, I know you don't mean it really. Why you think that? Well, are you the dragon known as Crimson? The one that's also teamed up with them? Is there any other dragon that will separate fate worse than death? Oh, are you sure you're not working on a comedy career? Okay. But just please answer, yes, I am Crimson. You simpleton. Oh, yeah. And then immediately he got upon a stage and just called everyone around with a complete glee and happiness. Gather round, everyone, for the tales of the fearsome Crimson is here.
Oh, no.
Fearsome, you say? Okay, what tales of terror have you told of me?
Oh, boy.
Tales of terror? You mean tales of heroics?
Uh-oh.
Wait, what?
Oh, no. No.
I think you mean terror, as in fear incarnate. No. We've heard much, and I know the facts, for it's my job to know the facts, for I'm a storyteller. Oh no.
Oh no, oh shit, oh Jesus.
You are considered as a great help to us all for your deeds. Please stop. I demand you stop.
Never thought I'd hear the day a red dragon was being called a hero and was trying to shut the bard up. Is this her trying to be modest, or her just not wanting to be misrepresented?
I am seriously not a hero. I am a terrifying dragon who has a heart of gold. No, shut up.
I have a heart of blood and flesh.
Yeah. What about the commotion I did in the bar? That can't be considered as heroics. You brought laughter and happiness to a despair town of poor unhappy folks. I almost killed one of the party members. You mean the fire mage you knocked out before he did any more harm and got arrested? Well done with that as well. I'm sensing I'm the villain here. Well, you burn shit, so what do you expect?
I am loving this far more than I should.
And if you don't mind, the children only wish to show their gratitude and they're eager. What? And before she could even react, the children decided to one-up the Crimson.
Were they climbing
and
on her?
They were climbing on her, hugging her, and all kinds. And Crimson was, like, frozen confusion and could not believe what's happening right now.
For some reason, I kind of imagined the look on that one cat's face after the owner put a petunia on its head. The cat that stopped responding, just lean back, ears going flat, eyes kind of wide and squinty at the same time. Just... I kind of want to draw this now. I promise I'm a shitty artist and I can't do it justice.
Kindly tell them to remove from me this instant. I like my personal space. Please, because I feel violated.
No, get out from under my tail.
Don't worry, they're not attacking you. They're only giving you hugs and all that. Worse, I'm being violated by an army of Mirans. Wait, army of Mirans? Why would she say something like that? Oh. Yeah, because the fire mage did not know about that. You don't... No. Now... I know what you're thinking, Aston, but if you settled down... You hugged her, didn't you? You can't lie to me. You're too honest for that. It was just a hug, okay? How dare you? I was rotting in jail and you go behind my back.
And hug the dragon.
What? You were only in there for like a day or two. It doesn't matter. I feel betrayed and heartbroken right now. What?
Why? Did he have a crush on Crimson? Oh yeah, he probably did because she breathes fire.
And now I have to break the news. Aston, now's not a good time. Crimson's in a bit of a moment. No! You brought this on yourself, Mirren.
Oh god, no. What the fuck is gonna happen? Ah!
Crimson, not now. I'm dealing with children. She has just like twitching her eye. She has no idea what to do.
I mean, hey, children are little shitheads.
Like pulling on her horns, playing with her scales.
Excuse me, please. Me and Auntie Crimson need to talk. What did you call me?
It's just something to make the kids leave you alone. Don't mind it.
I went back to your mother's, which they did. Now, Crimson, I know you're not having the best of days, but I just found out a shocking thing.
Oh God! Oh no!
Listen, I haven't devoured any children. It's because not that you let Mirren hug you, didn't you? I didn't let him. I was unable to remove him. Shh. I know what it's like. I know he's a hero and all. He's more popular than me. He goes about do whatever. But you know what? I'm not mad at you. I'm partially mad at him. And I suppose I still stick with the party, but maybe it's best I let you down easy myself.
What the fuck is
We're done.
happening? What?
What?
Excuse
I'm
me.
sorry
What
to
the
break it
fuck?
to you, but we're through.
Excuse
my
me. What
dear.
the fuck?
We have to go our separate ways.
Did this guy just break up
We
with
were
a
never
dragon?
a
He was.
thing. She has already forgotten me. I didn't even care for you.
This is the most beautiful fucking story.
Now, excuse me, everyone. I need to go to an inn to drink away my sorrows. Okay, can anyone tell me what the fuck just happened? I am confused.
I'm waiting for Crimson to just go, fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. And just nope out of there. And just yeet herself the fuck out of that party.
Because either he's more deranged than I thought, or he has completely lost it.
Yes.
To be fair, Crimson, he has to have it first before he lost it. And he never had it to begin with.
That's a valid point.
Don't worry, Crimson, he get over it. It's a phase of his. He'll snap back into it once he finds something he fancies more. Wait, what? Ugh.
Why did he fancy Crimson? Is this because
That's filthy. Ugh. You gonna be okay? Excuse me while I exit this town for a while. You are coming back, right? That is for me to decide. Something tells me this is gonna be one interesting moment in town. Well, I'm getting drunk. Darwin, it's early in the morning. Perfect time.
Wow.
Just check on Aston to see if he's okay. Sure, whatever. So, what's the problem? The problem is, we need you to find out what happened to quite a few missing people. How many? We've lost 79 people so far. But we have managed to track where they have disappeared to. There seems to be a castle. Oh, there's about 2 days walk from here. We hope that your party is capable of handling it, but it looks like they're a little bit of dismay at the moment. Oh, don't worry. We'll be capable for it. So, what's the main objective? Find the missing people, find the source, and get back safe.
You got about a minute and a half left, just a heads up.
Can we pause a second?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
All right. Which it does end around here. It shouldn't be too hard once we get the team back together. Just a note. From what I heard from the stories, if that fire mage causes one fire, I'm kicking you all out. Right. So I'll be watching you carefully. Yep. Because it is as I said. So, what's the plan, old fearless leader? You two go and check on Crimson. I'm going to the bar. Wait, why do we have to? You're girls. You can handle it. Have a girl talk or something.
I don't think that applies.
What do we do? We're fucked. That's what we do. That's where that ends.
Well, I think all right. Okay. And on that interesting note, honestly, why did he think they were a thing? I don't know.
He's deranged.
I
and
noticed.
insane.
I noticed. But yes,
Fire
that
rage is idiot.
that
I
concludes
couldn't believe it.
that concludes this week's episode of Jibber Jabber. So thank you all so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Until then, keep listening, people. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Ta-ra.
I am sure Crimson is blushing
How could
right now.
this happen?